Hello everyone, how you all doing? Welcome back to a new class. In today's class, we'll be learning how to make a one side of the shoulder boubou dress, and it's going to have a strap very close to the neckline. So here I have 6 yards of fabric, okay, but I will need just 3.5 yards for this dress I want to make, okay. So by the time you fold over 3.5 yards, you should be having about 63 inches, which is fine for me. So now I've cut out the 3.5 yards, which is what I have here. And how did I fold it? Let me quickly explain. So when you cut out from your African print fabric 3 yards, so you have the length of 3.5. This is 3, but it's actually 3.5 yards. So when you have it straight this way, when you cut it all out, then remember the width is by 45 inches. So all you have to do is to fold this way. This is the 3.5 yards this way. Just fold over this way. So you now have that's 1 3/4. Okay. So this is it. Then you now fold over this way. Okay. So this will be for the front. This will be for the back. Then you fold this way. So that is what I have here. Can you see? First I folded into 3.5 yards, then I now folded this way. Hope that is clear. Then you will need a plain fabric to go with your outfit. Now looking at it, this just have two shade, the black and the lemon, so you can use either of the two. So for me this is bright enough, so I'll just want something to cool it down, so I'll be using a plain black fabric. Okay, so the first thing you want to do now is to get the shoulder slope. So first I will be marking 3 inches. So that's 3 inches. And then how long you want it to be, you could just use the whole 23 inches I have here, but I think I will reduce mine to 22 or even 21 inches. So what I will do in that case is to just from this edge mark 21 inches. That will be seam allowance, because I will be turning the fabric at the sleeve area with this my plain black fabric. Okay, so the length you want, so I think 21 is okay, or 21.5. So I'm just going to mark that point and then come down again, mark it into a straight line, then we can trim it off. So I later made it 22 inches. Okay, then I trim this off. Okay, you could do that later, but so that it won't be confusing. The next thing is to come down by 1.5 for the shoulder slope. So 1.5 here, then you connect it to the 3 inches, then we also trim that off. So the shoulder slope is off. Good. So the next thing now is to form the neckline, and I want you to listen attentively here. So what you are going to do now is, how wide you want the normal neckline, not the off the shoulder, the normal neckline to be. So it ranges from 4 to 4.5, okay, except you want a wider neck. But for me, for my boubou, I want my neck to be so wide, okay. So for me, I will mark it at 5 inches. But I would advise you do 4, but for me, I always want it wide. So 5 inches along the slope, so which is here. So once I've done that, then the depth, you can make it between 3.5 to 4.5, okay, because we are still going to take in 1/2 inch for the seam allowance. So for a medium-sized person, 3.5 is okay, but for me, as I've said, I want it to be wide. So I'm going to make it 5 inches, yes, as low as that. So 5 inches. So I did 5 by 5 inches. I will just mark this way, or just leave it. Then I will notch at this wideness, because we need it on both sides. So I'll notch here. So now after notching it, then we can just come back to these parts. So now let us talk about the body. So for the body now, this is a boubou dress. Just make it straight, especially if you are making it for ready to wear. But let's now say, okay, yourself, you still want it to be fitted around the bust area. I will explain it. First, for the sleeve opening, I'm just going to leave that at around, let's say 11, 12. So 12 inches. So this is the sleeve opening. We are still going to take half an inch here, half an inch to sew it there, or 1 inch. So I did 12. Now, on the region of that 12 inches, so if you're ready to wear, make it straight. So the largest circumference for me now is 48 for my hip. So divided by 4, that will give me 12. And that 12 just had extra 3 inches to it to make it 15. Okay? So 15 at that 12 inches mark. So this is 15. So I'm going to mark that. So I'm going to mark it straight down. So you come down again, 15 inches straight down. But let's now say, okay, you still want it to be a bit fitted around the bust area. So all you have to do now is your bust measurement. Remember, you are taking this straight down. So let me just take my vertical hip measurement, which is about 26 and a half. Or let me just make it 27. So this 27. Hope the chalk is showing. So 27. Just going to mark it straight. Okay, so that means I'm going to mark this 15 inches here on the hip region. So this goes straight down. While on the bust area now, fine, this is not the bust area, we use 12 inches. I'm going to now mark my bust circumference divided by 4 is 11. So plus 3 inches, that makes it 11, 12, 13, 14. So it will now be 14 here. So this is totally optional. Just use your hip measurement straight down. So this is what I'll have here. So can you see? Then I'll just keep measuring the 15 inches straight down. Now at the lower part here, so this is the end of it. So you could just do 16 inches if you want. So it depends on how much you want it to be. Then if you want slits, like me, I still usually like slits at the side, but it's optional. So you could do 16 or 17, but here I just have 16 inches. So you just connect it to the hip. So remember, the hip, we have 15 inches at that point. I don't like my boo-boo too wide. It depends on your preference, as I'll always say. So that is it. Then I can start trimming from the lower part. Can you see? So this will be going up. So this could serve as pocket, because I always like pockets in my dresses. So you can see the shape we have. So this is what your boo-boo looks like. So having done that, now we'll go back to the neckline. So in this case now, I will open it up. We still have this place on fold. The 3 inches is still on fold, so it will be a guide. So I will open it up. If you've watched my boo-boo dress, another tip I always go for is, you see, at this sleeve region, always go in by 3/4 of an inch or 1 inch at this lower part of the sleeve. Okay, it's kind of help your sleeve look so much beautiful. So once you come in 3/4, you mark it straight to the edge and trim off. So you can do that while on fold. So even you yourself will see how it's going to look like. So can you see how beautiful that is? So you do that to the other side. So the next thing we now want to do is this. This is the midpoint. So there's a crease there, I know. So this is the 5 inches I've done before, and I notched here, so I can just mark it here too. So this is the neckline. So you can see that this is the one we have previous. Now decide where you want your off shoulder to be. So let's say I want it to be on this side. So how do you go about it? My shoulder divided by 2 is 8.5. Okay, that's the tip of my shoulder, and that's where you want your off the shoulder to be. So 8.5, I'll just use 8 because I'm still going to sew in half an inch to join it. Okay, so what I will do now is to measure 8 inches to this side. As I've said, I always want my neckline to be wide. So this is 8 inches. And then you might be wondering, I use 5 here. That's because we are still going to use half an inch to join the shoulder. Okay, so that's the reason for that. So from the crease now, the mid of the neckline, I measured 8 inches. So if you are not a plus size like me, or your shoulder, use your shoulder as a guide. So from there, I'm now going to mark and then connect straight to this edge. So this is how the neckline would be. Can you see how beautiful that is? So we are going to cut it off. Now remember, there's going to be another strip of the plain fabric coming here to cover up the neckline. How do you determine where to place it? It's very simple. You see from this crease, this middle line, just measure 3 inches if you are a medium size, but for me, I'll measure 3.5 from the crease point, the center front. Mark that point. So that is going to be what your where the strip is going to pass. So if you take it straight, no, you want it slanted. I'm just doing all this so it will help when we are placing. Can you see? Make it slanted this way. Okay, so you can just measure, let's say 3 inches downward here, and then this is how it's going to go. Can you see? So first I will notch that point, so you know it is the first notch from the center front. Then I'll notch it. Good. So that's where it's going to be. So now, before we cut it out, measure whatever you have, the length from that point till where we are cutting off. So here I have 4.5. Okay, so and it goes to the back. So 4.5 unfold. 4.5 unfold, that will give me 9. So that will be the strip hanging, 9 inches. Just note that. So now I can cut out. So this is it. Remember, 9 inches here. So another thing I'm going to do here is, you see that line that was coming in, I will notch that part because I know that is where the strip is going to pass. So just notch it. Good. Haven't done that now, the dress is ready. So for the neckline, we are going to be using our plain fabric to finish it all. So all I did is to cut out some of the plain fabric. So cotton will be better if you have Duchess, satin, whatever you have. So here now, look at what I have. I just cut out some. This is it. And then I use the lightest interfacing to make sure it is stable. Okay, and you know, I usually just do this before cutting out the neckline because I don't want, after cutting it out, now placing on it, it goes here and there and it doesn't give you that neat finishing. But for me, I take my time, even if it will stress me, just to achieve a very neat finishing. So I haven't done that. I'm going to fold this and place it underneath this part. What I now did is to pin it down so it won't get in the way and move around. So all I'm going to do now is this. Just trim this off.
So I can remove it.
So this is what it looks like. So what I will do is, I want the length to actually be 3 inches, but we need 1/2 inch at the lower part and 1/2 inch at the upper part to sew it neatly. So I'll make it 4. So you now mark 4 inches. 4 inches, and then you keep going that way. 4 inches. Now I've marked 4 inches all around. So the next thing is to just cut it all out. So we'll have for the front and the back. So now we have both for the front and the back. I've cut out the strip for the design we are going to have. So all I did is to cut out a very long strip of fabric. Remember, the length of our dress is 63 inches. And then we measured 9 inches. If you remember, 4.5 times 2, which is 9 inches. So if you add that to 9, so that should be like about 73 or so. But make sure you cut out more. So instead of that 73 or 74, I just cut out like 78, okay? I made sure it is long enough, 78. by 6 inches. Can you see? So you can see I have 77 here, okay? And then I added the interfacing to it to make it stable. So what you are going to do now is fold it this way. Can you see? And then you're going to sew half an inch straight down. So after sewing it, to bring it all out. So guys, I have sewn it and brought it inside out so you can see it. So I trimmed off the excess, then I brought it out and ironed, making sure the one with the seam allowance is inside. So you can see what we have. So it is long enough. So the first thing is I got a strip of 3 inches. So can you see 3 inches? And then it should be long. So I want to tape the sleeve region. This is the wrong side of my fabric. So just get 2 for each side. So what you will do now is make sure the right side of the strip is facing the wrong side this way. So you sew it on the wrong side. After sewing it, you bring it and turn it to the right side this way to have a neat finishing. Then fold half an inch again and just sew it all down to have it neatly done. You do that to all the sides. Now back to the neckline. Now you are going to take the front, just the front first. We are working with the front because we need to do some things at the back before we finish the back. So pick this wrong side, right side of this facing on the wrong side of the dress. So you are going to sew half an inch all round and then notch the neckline to turn to the right side. Now for the neckline, all I did is to sew it on the wrong side and then notch it. You can see how I notched, and then bring it on the right side this way and then folding half an inch all around. Can you see? So the other thing I did is this, because this happens to be on the back, because I want the off shoulder to be on this side. So this is the wrong side. The marking I did, you remember, so I skipped that part. So look at it from here. So I skipped that part. I left about 4 inches just as a guide. So this is it. So I'll be able to put in the strap inside it. So that was why I left this open and I have not closed this part. So now let's go to the front. So looking at it, I've spread out the front and you can see I've secured the neckline. So that's how that looks. So the next thing is for us to place the strip on it. This is the middle. This is the center front. I don't want to mark on the right side. So with the ruler, that is the center front. So how do I know where to place the strap? I'm going to place the back that has the marking on it. Okay, so with my chalk, I'm just going to mark that. This is the straight line. That is how I want it to be. So this is it. Okay, so all I have to do now is to take this. So remember we measured about 9 inches then, but I'm going to do like up to 12 because my strip is so long. So I want excess. I don't want a situation whereby I wouldn't have anything or having something disturbing it. So that is 12 inches. So that is enough to go to the back. Okay, or I can even do up to 12, you know, just have excess because this is going to the back this way. So once I've placed it there, can you see this is still the ruler for the for the center front. So just slant this, going over it this way. You can see that's easy to do. Then I'm going to pin this down. I believe you can see a better view of what it looks like. So I make sure I have the most at the upper part here. Then looking at the way I placed it, this is the marking here. So I make sure these strips start after it because I still want it to be away from my neckline. Okay, so you can see this is the marking here. So I pinned it down. Good. So this is still the center front. So you can see the way I slanted it out here. Can you see? This is it. So I don't want it to be too much. This is the center front. Can you see? So this is it. That is how the slanting goes. So now, since this is the center front, I want to see how many inches I did away. So it's just 2 inches at the hem. I did 2 inches away from the center front. So that's how the design is going to be. And I'm just going to pin it, which I've done. So I've pinned it all down. So can you see? So that is how it looks. So I'll go back to my sewing machine and now start sewing. So I'll start from this edge straight down, and from here straight down. So beautiful. So you can see. So I've put the back on it. So this is the back. Okay. So right side facing each other because of the mark we placed on the wrong side. Okay, so it's going to help us. So now the back, right side facing the front. Okay, so you match it up. So now, because I have this place open, which I've explained before, so all I'll do now is to take this and place it inside. Can you see? So because at this marking I stopped there, so I have more to this side, so it has to align with this marking. So I'll just put it in. Remember, the measurement we took was 4.5. So you will now measure 4.5. Okay, I still need to put it in. So you are more concerned about this side. This will just fall in the right place on its own. So 4.5. So I have 5. I still need to go in. So here I have 4.5 accurately. But remember, we are still going to take 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here. So we could say we should reduce, but I would advise you not to reduce because you want it a bit loose. You don't want it too tight. So you can just maintain that 4.5. Okay, so that's what I would do. Let me confirm again, 4.5 exactly. So with that now, I can either mark on this point or just pin it down. Can you see? So once I've pinned it down, then I'll come back here. So I'll now have to open this place up and then sew it down. So you can see the excess I have. So I'm going to sew it down here all through and then cut off the excess. Then I can finish it up this way. Hope that is well understood. I've gone underneath here to sew it up. So you can see how it looks. So I can trim this off. So if you follow that process, it's just so nice. So this is how it looks. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to finish this just as I did the front. And once I do that, I'm going to sew up the shoulder. So I just sew up this shoulder for you to see how it looks. So you sew in the shoulder like I did this, and make sure all these facings matches each other. You can see what I have here. Everything matches each other, please. So now I'm going to finish this, sew up the side, and after sewing up the side, I will now have to make sure right sides are facing each other. Then I'll come to the sleeve region. We left 1 inch, so 1 inch this way, and then you go straight down to sew it to the end. I have a video on how to fix a pocket, which I will attach to the video. Okay. So guys, the lovely dress is ready, and you can see how beautiful it looks like. I love everything about it. Can you see that? So up to down. Can you see? So that is it. So let me show you this way. So this is what it looks like. Can you see? So beautiful. So on the back. So this is what the back also looks like. So let me just put it on for you to see how lovely. And this is it, guys. You can see how beautiful it looks, isn't it? Isn't it? So everything is just sitting so well. Please ensure you make this dress, even for your children, yes. So please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, okay? So I have to turn the back for you to see, and don't forget it has pockets. So if you want to learn how to make your size seam pocket, I have a video on that. It is in the description box below. Okay? Okay? So let me turn the back. So guys, I have to go. I remain your girl Bilikis.